This post is dedicated to everyone affected by cancer, whether malignant or benign. It is, without question, a life-altering blow that can drain joy and fill the days with uncertainty. While every diagnosis is different, one feeling often binds us all: a deep sense of helplessness. But if you're reading this, I hope you find a spark of courage here. The journey through cancer is neither easy nor pleasant, but it is one you don't have to face alone. Through sharing my own story, I hope to offer practical ways to cope, lessons I've learned along the way, and a clearer picture of what you or your loved one can expect. Whether you're walking this path yourself or supporting someone who is, may this post serve as a gentle guide and reminder: there is strength even in struggle. When it comes to cancer treatment, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Treatment plans vary depending on the type, stage, and location of the cancer. In my case, the treatment started with chemotherapy to reduce the size of the mass, followed by radiation therapy to further shrink it and help deactivate the remaining cancer cells. Some treatment plans may reverse this order or combine both chemo and radiation at the same time, a concurrent approach that's often more intense and painful. In the next part of my story, I'll walk you through the following: the cost of each treatment based on my experience within the Philippine healthcare setup, the common side effects I experienced along the way. I'm sharing this not just to document my journey, but to help others prepare, ask the right questions, and feel a little less alone. In the Philippines, cancer treatment can be financially overwhelming, especially because our public health benefits offer limited coverage. Many of my friends and colleagues rely heavily on corporate HMO plans, which typically range from 150,000 pesos and up in annual limits. But the real question is that enough? The answer largely depends on your treatment plan. If you're hoping to cover diagnostics, like biopsy, chemotherapy, and radiation therapy entirely through your HMO, the truth is, it's usually not sufficient. To give you a clearer picture, here's a simplified cost breakdown based on my personal experience. Diagnosis: biopsies. Biopsy costs in the Philippines typically start at 70,000 pesos and up, depending on several factors, such as the complexity of the case, the number of areas that need to be sampled, and the severity assessed by your doctor. This amount does not include hospitalization fees or the cost of medications for pain management and recovery, which can further increase the overall expense. Chemotherapy costs. Chemotherapy can come in two forms: oral or intravenous, IV. Oral chemo is generally more affordable, but in my case, IV chemotherapy was required, which is significantly more expensive. Here's a breakdown based on my personal experience. IV chemo, per session, 125,000 pesos. Doctor's fee, per session, 25,000 pesos and above. Pain management doctor, per consult, 15,000 pesos. I required regular consultations for almost 2 months. I completed 6 chemo sessions, although the standard recommendation is usually 6 to 8 sessions depending on the type and stage of cancer. Aftercare expenses. Post-chemo care is just as critical and comes with its own set of costs. Pain medication, pills, 300 pesos each. Pain patch, 1,200 pesos each. 2-month supply, 35,000 pesos total. Vitamins and supplements, for blood support, 10,000 pesos per month. Blood stimulating shots, 20,000 pesos per shot. I had around 8 to 10 shots throughout treatment. These figures don't just show the cost of fighting cancer, they show the reality many of us face when it comes to healthcare access and affordability in the Philippines. Sharing this so others can prepare and plan ahead. Radiation therapy costs. Compared to chemotherapy, radiation therapy is generally more affordable. As of Q2 2025, PhilHealth covers the full cost of radiation therapy in select government or partner hospitals. It's worth checking with local facilities near you to see if they have an active partnership with PhilHealth for this benefit. However, if you undergo radiation in a private facility without PhilHealth coverage, the cost can be significant. Per session cost, 11,000 pesos, average, total sessions, in my case, 20 sessions. Doctor's fee, 5,000 pesos and above. Radiation may be less costly than chemo, but depending on the setup and provider, the expenses can still add up quickly, especially if treatment is prolonged. Always check with your doctor and your healthcare provider for cost-saving options available in your area. Other medical expenses. In addition to primary treatments, there are several essential diagnostic procedures and routine tests that also add to the overall cost. CT scan, 45,000 pesos. PET scan, 75,000 pesos. Blood tests, CBC, 800 pesos to 1,500 pesos per test. These tests are often required before, during, and after treatment to monitor your progress, adjust your treatment plan, or check for recurrence. While they may seem like smaller line items, they can accumulate quickly over the course of your treatment journey. Wondering how to finance all these expenses? Here in the Philippines, there are several options available that may help ease the financial burden. While none of these may cover everything, combining multiple sources can help make the treatment more manageable. Always check eligibility requirements and prepare documentation early. Get a PWD-ID as soon as you're diagnosed. Once you receive a cancer diagnosis, one of the first things you should do is apply for a PWD, Persons with Disability, ID. This entitles you to a 20% discount on medications, diagnostics, and select medical procedures, a benefit that can significantly reduce your hospital and treatment expenses. While the law also extends the discount to food, transportation, and other services, realistically, many establishments do not honor these benefits properly, which can be frustrating. Focus on the discounts that truly matter for your health, medications and hospital costs, where the savings really count. Guarantee letters from government institutions. You can also explore guarantee letters from various government agencies to help cover your medical expenses. These letters act as a form of financial assistance and are often accepted as good as cash by hospitals. Institutions you can approach include Malasakit Centers, PAGCOR, DSWD, local government units, LGUs, and office of your congressman, senator or other local officials. These may take time to process, so it's best to apply early and prepare all required documents. When approved, the hospital will bill the agency directly, reducing or even fully covering your out-of-pocket costs. HMO and personal insurance plans. If you have an HMO, take time to carefully review your coverage. Not all plans include cancer treatment or critical illness benefits, and coverage limits may not be enough for the full treatment journey. If you don't yet have personal insurance, now is the time to get one, ideally with health or living benefits. In my case, I have 3 policies, but unfortunately, none of them cover critical illness. What they do offer is a withdrawal option, similar to a savings account, which gave me access to some emergency funds when I needed them. The best advice: talk to a licensed and trustworthy financial advisor who can help you choose a plan that fits your needs, especially one that includes health protection. It's an investment you'll be grateful for when life takes an unexpected turn. SSS sickness benefit. If you're employed and contributing to the Social Security System, SSS, you may be eligible for the SSS sickness benefit. This is a reimbursement-based assistance meant to partially cover income lost due to illness or hospitalization. While the amount may not be large compared to total treatment costs, every bit helps, especially during extended recovery periods. Make sure to coordinate with your employer's HR for filing requirements and timelines. Get a credit card and build a good credit standing. While it may not seem like the most ideal option, having a credit card can be a lifesaver during medical emergencies. It gives you access to instant funds, cash advances, and even installment payment plans for large expenses. In my case, having a good credit standing allowed me to tap into these resources when I was on extended leave from work with no income. It wasn't my first choice, but it bridged the gap when I needed it most. If you don't have one yet, consider applying for a credit card now, and start building a strong credit score. It's a financial tool that, when used wisely, can provide crucial support during tough times. Some say cancer is a sickness only the rich can afford, and in many ways, that's true. The reality is, cancer treatment is financially overwhelming, especially in a country where healthcare isn't always a top priority. From diagnostics to medication, and from aftercare to recovery, the costs pile up quickly. Without strong health support systems in place, many patients are left to carry the burden on their own, relying on a mix of government aid, personal savings, and community support just to get by. Side effects: what to expect from cancer treatment. Cancer treatments can take a significant toll, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. The side effects vary from person to person, but most patients experience some form of discomfort or change. Here are some common side effects you may encounter: chemo side effects, hair loss, weight loss, muscle pains, joint pains, vomiting, light and sound sensitivity, headaches, nausea, anxiety, depression, fatigue, drying of skin, low WBC count, immunocompromised, hoarseness of voice. Radiation fatigue: chest pain, or pain in the area where radiation is, skin lesions. Pain medication: I used strong pain meds like morphine and fentanyl just to manage my chest and back pains. I had terrible drowsiness and I even had delusions. Blood medication, one of the most painful parts. Among all the treatments I went through, the blood medication was one of the most physically painful. My white blood cell, WBC, count dropped significantly, leaving me immunocompromised and vulnerable to infections. To help boost my WBCs, I had to receive regular injections, and the side effects were brutal. After each shot, I experienced intense pain in my pelvis and spine, often leaving me bedridden for an entire week. The pain made it difficult to even stand or walk without assistance. My joints ached so severely that I needed to use a cane just to get around. It wasn't just discomfort, it was debilitating. This part of the journey is something many don't talk about, but it's real, and it's part of what makes a cancer warrior's strength so profound. Treatment is a difficult path, one that tests every part of you. There were days when the pain was so intense, I honestly wanted to give up. But what carried me through was the overwhelming support I received from family and friends. Their presence reminded me I wasn't alone. Most importantly, I reconnected deeply with my faith. I turned to Scripture, prayed earnestly, and allowed myself to cry out everything in those quiet moments of surrender. Prayer became my refuge, and the verses I read gave me perspective, strength, and even peace. One of the hardest yet most freeing things I had to do was face the reality of my own mortality. When you accept that, strangely, things become lighter. You stop fearing the unknown. And while the journey is hard, know this: cancer is not a death sentence. Treatments continue to advance, and healing is